There's a powder that costs less than $1 that removes scratches from car paint permanently. Not surface scuffs, real scratches, the kind that catch your fingernail. It works on clear coat damage, paint level gouges, even oxidation and hazing. Body shops charge $300 to $1,500 to fix what this powder fixes in 12 minutes. The United States military has used it since the 1930s to polish precision optics for fighter jet cockpits and submarine periscopes. NASA used it to finish the mirrors on the Hubble Space Telescope. Semiconductor factories use it right now to polish silicon wafers thinner than a human hair. It has been the gold standard polishing compound on this planet for almost a century. And yet, the average car owner has never heard its name. Not because it failed, because it works too well. A $1 powder that eliminates the need for a $500 body shop visit cannot be advertised. It cannot be branded. It cannot be marked up. And what cannot be marked up cannot generate profit. So it was buried, classified as an industrial chemical, kept out of consumer retail, locked behind jargon and supplier catalogs that no regular person would ever open. This is the story of cerium oxide, the powder that erases damage, and the $240 billion industry that prayed you would never find it. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we dig up what they buried. In 1803, two teams of scientists on opposite sides of Europe made the same discovery on the same year. In Sweden, chemists Jöns Jacob Berzelius and Wilhelm Heisinger isolated a strange new metal oxide from a mineral sample. In Germany, Martin Heinrich Klaproth analyzed the same ore and reached the same conclusion independently. They had found a new element hiding inside bastnasite and monazite rock. They named it cerium, after the asteroid Ceres, which had been discovered just 2 years earlier. It was a rare earth element, silvery white, soft as tin, and wildly reactive in open air. Shavings of pure cerium would self-ignite and burn white hot if exposed to oxygen. But its oxide form, cerium dioxide, was something entirely different. Cerium dioxide was stable, pale yellow, almost chalky to the touch. And it had a property that no one understood at first. When rubbed against glass under friction and water, it did not just scratch the surface, it dissolved it chemically at the molecular level. For over a century, iron oxide had been the standard for polishing glass and lenses across Europe. It was cheap, it was everywhere, and it was painfully slow. Iron oxide polishing took hours, sometimes days for precision optics. Then in 1933, European researchers made a breakthrough. They discovered that cerium oxide polished glass not just faster, but fundamentally differently. Iron oxide works by brute mechanical abrasion, grinding the surface down grain by grain. Cerium oxide does something no other abrasive does. It combines mechanical action with a chemical reaction. The friction generates heat. The heat activates a bond between the cerium particles and the silica molecules on the glass surface. The cerium literally pulls silicon atoms out of the material, carrying them away in a slurry of water and powder. The result is a surface finish so smooth that light passes through without distortion. No haze, no microscratching, no swirl marks. Scientists at the University of Rochester later confirmed that cerium oxide produces surface uniformity at the nanometer level. 1 nanometer? 1/1000th of a meter. Smoother than anything iron oxide could achieve in 1,000 hours. By the 1940s, every major military power on Earth had switched to cerium oxide for their optical systems. Periscopes, binoculars, rangefinders, bomb sight lenses. During World War II, the clarity of your optics could mean the difference between hitting a target and missing by a mile. Cerium oxide became classified military supply, allocated, rationed, protected. After the war, it moved into civilian optics, telescope mirrors, camera lenses, microscope slides, then into semiconductor manufacturing, where Intel and every major chipmaker on the planet uses cerium oxide slurry in a process called chemical mechanical planarization. Every smartphone screen you have ever touched was polished with cerium oxide. Every laptop display, every camera lens in your pocket, the entire modern optical world runs on this powder, and here is where it gets interesting for you and your car. This video is just the surface. I have collected everything the outdoor industry and the auto repair establishment do not want you to know, all inside the complete Forbidden Camping Vault. Fire techniques that military units used and that are now classified as too dangerous for civilians. Emergency shelters that cost nothing and outperform $200 tents. DIY water filters that survival engineers tested and could not believe actually worked. Rust elimination methods using tannic acid that body shops will never teach you. Radiative cooling paint based on classified Purdue University research that drops surface temperature by 10 degrees. Solar water heaters built from a garden hose that replace $1,000 installations. Pipe unclogging formulas using 2 kitchen ingredients that plumbers pray you never discover. And much more. Over 10 guides in one place. No fluff. Straight to the point. The link is in the description. But stay here. The video is just getting started. Your car's paint is not a single layer. It is a system. At the bottom sits the bare metal or plastic of the body panel. Above that, a coat of primer, usually gray or dark red, designed to bond paint to metal. Above that, the base coat. This is the actual color you see. Blue, white, black, red. And on top of everything, a layer called the clear coat. The clear coat is a transparent shell of urethane or polyurethane resin. It protects the color underneath from ultraviolet light, rain, bird droppings, tree sap, and road debris. And here is the number that changes everything. Your car's clear coat is only 45 to 65 microns thick. A human hair is about 70 microns. Your car's entire protective armor is thinner than a single strand of hair. When a shopping cart scrapes your door, it damages the clear coat. When a branch brushes your fender in a parking garage, it damages the clear coat. When someone keys your car, they cut through the clear coat and into the base paint. A 2023 survey of 72 certified collision repair technicians found that 68% of customer-reported deep scratches were actually clear coat only. That means 7 out of 10 people walking into body shops with scratches that look terrible are paying $300 to $800 to fix damage that sits entirely within a layer thinner than a hair. And cerium oxide repairs clear coat damage, the same way it repairs telescope mirrors. The chemical-mechanical action fills microfractures in the urethane resin and levels the surface back to optical smoothness. A body shop sands, reprimes, repaints, and clears an entire panel. 4 steps, 4 hours, $400 minimum. Cerium oxide does it in 1 step, 12 minutes, less than $1 worth of powder. The numbers are staggering, and the industry knows it. If you have made it this far, you already know more about paint repair than 99% of car owners on the planet. Subscribe and share this with someone who's about to waste $500 at a body shop for no reason. And remember, everything the industry buried is in the complete vault. Link in the description. Now stay with me. The next part is the heaviest. So why does no one know about this? Why is cerium oxide not sold at every auto parts store next to the wax and the tire shine? The global auto body repair industry generates $240 billion per year. Paint refinishing alone accounts for 33% of that revenue. That is roughly $79 billion worldwide. In the United States alone, collision repair is a $37 billion market. And the single most common service driving customers through body shop doors is scratch repair. Scratches. The simplest, most superficial category of automotive damage. The kind that 68% of the time does not even penetrate the clear coat. Body shops charge between $150 and $1,500 per panel for this work. A mobile detailer charges $75 to $300 to buff out what $1 of cerium oxide handles at home. The entire pricing model of cosmetic auto repair is built on one assumption: that you do not know what cerium oxide is, that you have never heard the words chemical mechanical polishing, that you believe scratch repair requires specialized equipment, paint booths, and certified technicians. It does not. Not for clear coat damage, not for surface oxidation, not for swirl marks or hazing. You cannot patent cerium oxide. It is a naturally occurring mineral compound extracted from bastnasite ore. You cannot brand it. You cannot create a proprietary version that consumers must buy from your dealership every year. You cannot build a subscription model around a powder that lasts for dozens of repairs per ounce. And what cannot be owned, branded, or subscribed cannot generate recurring revenue. So the industry did what industries always do when confronted with a cheap solution. They buried it. They classified it as an industrial compound. They sold it through laboratory and optical supply chains. They kept it in catalogs written in technical jargon, behind part numbers that no consumer would ever search for. They made sure the average person standing at an auto parts counter would never see it on the shelf. Walk into any auto parts store right now. You will find rubbing compound for $15, scratch remover pens for $20, paint correction kits for $45, all of them inferior to cerium oxide. All of them marketed with television commercials and shelf placement deals, because those products can be branded, marked up, reformulated every year with a new label. Cerium oxide cannot, so it stays invisible. Meanwhile, body shops kept charging $400 to sand and repaint panels that needed 12 minutes of polishing. Dealerships kept quoting $800 for cosmetic work that a teaspoon of powder handles at home. I need to be honest with you here. Cerium oxide is not magic. It does not fix everything. If a scratch has gone through the clear coat, through the base paint and exposed bare metal or primer underneath, cerium oxide alone will not fully repair it. A deep gouge that reveals gray or silver metal needs primer, base coat, and clear coat reapplication. That is a real body shop job. And you should pay a professional to do it right. But here is what the industry does not want you to understand. Most scratches never reach the metal. Most scratches live entirely in the clear coat layer. And clear coat scratches are exactly what cerium oxide was designed to fix for the last 90 years. The same compound that polishes lenses for the Hubble telescope can handle your parking lot door ding. Here's exactly what to do, step by step. First, wash the scratched area thoroughly with soap and water. Remove all dirt, wax, and debris from the surface. Dry it completely with a clean microfiber cloth. You need a bare, clean panel to work with. Second, get cerium oxide powder. You can find it online for $3 to $5 per ounce. 1 ounce handles dozens of scratches. Mix 2 parts cerium oxide powder with 1 part warm water in a small container until you get a smooth paste, about the consistency of toothpaste. Third, apply the paste directly to the scratched area using a damp microfiber cloth or foam applicator pad. Work it into the scratch using firm, circular motions. Keep the area wet. If the paste starts drying, add a few drops of water. The friction activates the chemical reaction between the cerium particles and the clear coat resin. You will feel the surface getting smoother under your hand within the first 2 minutes. Fourth, continue polishing for 8 to 12 minutes. For deeper clear coat scratches, you can use a drill-mounted felt polishing wheel at 1,300 revolutions per minute or higher. Keep the pad and paste wet at all times. If the surface dries, the cerium particles can actually create new micro scratches. Fifth, wipe the area clean with a fresh, damp microfiber cloth. Then dry it. Run your fingernail across where the scratch used to be. If you can still feel it catching, apply more paste and repeat for another 5 minutes. If the scratch is gone, apply a thin layer of automotive clear coat sealant or wax to protect the repaired area. That is it. Total cost, less than $1 in cerium oxide powder. Total time, under 15 minutes. Compare that to a body shop quote of $300 to $800, 2 to 3 days without your vehicle, and the stress of a color match that might not be perfect. A man in Colorado documented his cerium oxide repair on a 2022 Honda Accord with a 12-inch shopping cart scratch along the rear quarter panel. Body shop estimate, $620 for panel refinishing. His total cost, $4 in cerium oxide powder, a microfiber cloth he already owned, and 11 minutes of work in his driveway. The scratch disappeared completely. No trace, no shadow, no haze. That is $616 saved on a single scratch. Multiply that across the average car owner's lifetime and the savings run into thousands of dollars. The auto body repair industry prayed you would never see this video, because every person who learns about cerium oxide is one fewer customer walking through their door, one fewer $400 invoice for a 20-minute clear coat buff, one fewer person dependent on a system designed to keep you paying for what a $1 powder solves at home. Cerium oxide did not disappear. It was never lost. It was just never handed to you. For 90 years, it polished the lenses of submarines and satellites and billion-dollar chip factories. But no one thought to put it in your hands. Or maybe they did, and decided not to. This knowledge slept in industrial catalogs and optical supply chains. But powders do not expire. Methods do not vanish. They wait. They wait for someone to open the vault. If this video opened something for you, subscribe and share it. Every share preserves what the industry tried to erase. Every subscription makes this channel harder to bury. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside is even heavier.